Hi, welcome to King Motors. Today we're going to make a little video here just to show you some of the plug-in hybrid BMW 330Es we have in stock. We also have a couple of 5 Series. At this stage now we would call ourselves a plug-in hybrid specialist, and when we go into a subcategory of that, we're a BMW 330e plug-in hybrid specialist. We have loads of them. We love them, we find them really reliable. And basically this video is, I'm making it to kind of showcase that you can own these cars far cheaper than people think. They run so cheaply, like even their servicing costs, all that kind of stuff, but I'll go through that with you. At the minute, we're offering 5.95% finance on these things, which really makes them just an average car. I'm going to take this one here out because this one is the BMW 330e luxury, but it's the individual spec. And it kind of showcases that there's really something for everyone in the range, all the way from M Sport, Sport Pack, down to SE, and we've got them all. So what we'll do now is we'll jump in this one and we'll go for a spin. So here we are out driving the 330e. And the first thing you notice with all these things is how quiet they are. But I'm going to explain why they're quiet. The main reason is obvious. They're mostly running on an electric motor once you have the battery charged. And even when you don't, they'll still do it. And that brings me on to how they work. They're super simple. There's nothing complex in these systems. The only thing that kept this kind of technology from the market for the last sort of 40, 50 years, genuinely, was the battery packs. So the battery technology got better, and that meant that they could fit this stuff into a car, package it all and make it work. There's nothing complicated about it. It's engine, motor, gearbox. Depending on what way the current is going through the motor, it's an alternator or it's a motor. That's it. It's really simple stuff. So much so that technology has existed in trains since the 50s. Diesel shunters, if you have any interest, if you're a nerd like me and you know what they are, they have no direct drive between their diesel engine and the wheels on the train. They just were able to carry a massive bank of batteries and weight didn't matter in them. So it's not a complex thing, one jot, really simple sort of stuff, and super reliable on account of it. The other thing that lends for actually is your servicing costs. It's a perfectly normal 4-cylinder petrol engine up the front, so far less temperamental than a diesel engine just to begin with. But if you go the 20,000 mile range that these things say between services, the engine was probably only on for 11 or 12,000 of those. So that makes it a less wear and tear. They're a fabulous thing, so they really are a good option. Then all of these BMWs, they all come with the ZF 8-speed gearbox, and that is a masterpiece. It's fantastic. That is that basically puts you in the right gear constantly. If you want to drive it hard, you're in the right gear. If you want to drive it economically, you're in the right gear. It's because there's such a variation in the ranges in the actual gears. It's always correct, and it's a seamless thing. It's so buttery smooth. It's beautiful. So I'm a fan of that. That brings me on to hybrids generally, and what they do. Like, a hybrid basically gives you the best of all worlds in terms of a car. You get a car that is absolutely perfect around town. No diesel trouble, no DP issues, no high servicing costs, none of that kind of stuff. And if your sort of spin is quite small, I think the range on these realistically is about 16, 17 miles. If you're doing inside that, you'll effectively never use any fuel as long as you plug it in. Most people we sell these to don't buy the big charger either. They just put a 3-pin socket in the garden, plug it in, charge it overnight, and it's plenty. For me personally, I'm all the way over north side now. I can get all the way over to work, and we're based at the top of Crumlin on Crumlin Cross, on less than one charge. I plug it in work and I get home on a charge. Like, it's making my driving effectively free. But because it's a plug-in hybrid, I can happily go off to Waterford or something down to my wife's family. No problem in this. And then combine that to the 8-speed gearbox in the hybrid mode, all that kind of stuff. It's still super economical. So it allows you this massive duality, takes away all the troubles of driving around town in what were previously economical cars with diesels, with DPF filters, that kind of stuff. Fantastic, fantastic thing. So I'm very certainly a fan of this technology. And then I'm going to move on to 330s. So we've talked about what hybrids are and what they do. These 330s are a fabulous thing. Like, they really do everything for everyone. And in terms of the actual range, so the types of spec you can get in them, we sort of specialize in them now, as I said in the intro. So we have them from SE spec, which is still a beautiful car, it comes with everything, right the way up to M Sport and the M Sport pack on top of the M Sport. Like a really focused, fast car, you know. They kind of do everything. Like, there's one for everybody in the audience. And BMW the way a BMW drives is second to none. Nothing else is as good as a well put together BMW in my mind. They handle absolutely perfectly. You sit really low in the cabin of them. The steering inputs, like it's almost telepathic the way they sort of drive. So I personally love them, and I love their driving position. If you watch any of our previous videos, you'll know that that's true. Like, I am a fan of these things. But the fact that you can literally tailor spec one of these to what you want is fantastic. Like, that's why I brought out this one. This is a luxury spec one now we're sitting in. And to give some scope, the seats are obviously an individual spec colour. They're absolutely lovely in my opinion. But this car has the M Sport steering wheel, so you get the fatter steering wheel. We've got the SE suspension in this one, so it's nice and soft. Like, there's so many variations. There is one that will suit you, all the way from your granny, you know, right down to the youngest guy who wants to show off. Like, there's one for everyone. And that's the other thing. That brings me on to another thing about just how these hybrid systems are with the drive modes. On account of these drive modes, anyone can drive one of these. Like, they're super simple to drive. And the way that the electric power, the way the electric motor delivers its power is so linear and smooth and torquey. It makes for a beautiful, beautiful car. I definitely, like, I don't really want to bang the drum too much, but I am a huge fan of these things. And the other thing about these 330s at the minute, certainly the E versions of them, financially they make good sense. There's a good saving on one of these over a 320 diesel. And at the minute, certainly in my opinion, and we saw it there sort of 10 years ago with the shift from petrol to diesel. I think a seismic shift like that is coming in the other direction for just cars. I still believe Jeeps and that kind of stuff and SUVs will have a place as diesels, but I don't think saloon cars and this kind of stuff are going to. So quite suddenly, I think you'll have a car, like if you bought a 320D, in 5 years time, you're going to have something with a hell of a lot less value than this car has. Because these will be what people want by that stage, and you'll have the early sort of remnants of the market where there isn't enough to go around, and it'll keep them quite valuable. That happened previously with the diesel stuff when Ireland shifted that way. So from my point of view, I think they're very good. We can offer them at 5.9% finance, which is super cheap. And when you combine that to the fact that they're mega reliable. Like, we've done literally no faults in one of these in terms of their hybrid system, engine, gearbox, any of that kind of stuff. We've done all the normal squeaky brakes and the odd suspension knock and that kind of stuff. But in terms of reliability, we have found them super, super good, genuinely. And combine that to the fact that the service costs are low and the actual running costs are low if they suit you right. You know, you're someone who basically lives inside the greater Dublin area. They're kind of a no-brainer with the low finance rate, in my opinion. And they're just a nice treat. This whole lockdown is dragging on. It feels never ending, and they're just a nice pick-me-up. It makes it just something nice for yourself, and it really won't break the bank. Like, it's not ostentatious or stupid. It's not a bad decision. I actually think it's a good pragmatic decision for the future in terms of like your residual values and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of it on the cars there. I'm going to move off from talking on the cars there now and just move on to us now as a company in this kind of weird distance selling time. To give you some scope on who we are, we were one of the first ever second-hand dealers to be an SIMI dealer, and now we're an AA approved dealer on top of that. And that allows us to offer up to 2 years warranty on any of these cars, and it's a nationwide warranty. But I think more than that, it kind of speaks volumes for the type of people we are and the type of business we run, because the AA won't just allow anyone be a representative for them. They're quite particular on who they allow be a brand ambassador for them. So I think it says a lot about our business. Other than that, we've 50 plus Google 5-star reviews, which we're really proud of. So we really do try our best. And at the moment, we're offering free nationwide delivery with any of this stuff. When we do a deal online, each individual car will get its own individual video advert, and we can do a walk around if we miss stuff for you. So that's kind of it. I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to say thanks for watching the video. We appreciate you taking the time to do it, and I hope that it kind of showed you what it took a bit of your fear away of these things, because believe me, they're the future. They're fantastic. It took a bit of that fear away anyway, and showed you the type of people we are and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of it. I'll leave it there. But my final sort of thought on all of this plug-in hybrid stuff, because we do other ones, we do Mercs and that kind of stuff, and that's great. I know it might seem bandwagony from us to kind of be jumping on them, but we're not. Like, I'm a lifelong car enthusiast, and I grew up in the motor trade. And like, I am no more on the bandwagon than anyone. Like, I joined the band. This stuff is fantastic. Look back through any of our videos and hopefully my enthusiasm comes across. But that's kind of it anyway. I leave it there. Hopefully I've done enough to make you think about one at least. And thanks very much for watching again. And hopefully we will see you soon.